So today we are working with Klaus. He is a little 3.5-month-old Doberman. We are going to work on recall in distracting environments. So he's here for a 3-week board and train. Klaus, come. Yes. So that was actually pretty good. This is for Klaus. So we've done some recall training with him, like in the house, back and forth. He's great, it's instant. That wasn't bad, it wasn't instant, but that was kind of mid-level. He wasn't super engaged in playing or anything. His mind was like right in between, and it was pretty good. Look at little Mason. It was pretty good, but it wasn't great. So we would want to speed that level up first, and then we want to get him in the zone where he's like playing with other dogs and able to snap out of it. It's super important to think about all of the different levels that the dog is engaged in terms of environment to understand training a dog with recall. So like I was saying, the different levels. Inside the house is level 1, just like back and forth in training mode. So many people just do that, and then they go to like a dog park and are wondering why the dog doesn't come. You have to make sure that you're working up in different environments. Inside the house is level 1, whereas at a dog park is level 10. So you have to be able to understand how far gone their mind is from you mentally, and you have to first train the dog to snap out of it when their mind is just gone a little bit. Teach him that they have the self-control to listen. Then let it go a little bit more. Let him get consumed a little bit more with the distractions and the environment. Then snap him out of it. And this can be in time or adding more distractions. The first level of distract, letting his mind wander with the environment. We've done that actually, and he does really well with that. So now we're gonna work with the other dogs, because when he's playing with other dogs, the recall is non-existent, and he lives on some property with like 17 chickens, they said. And so they want him to be able to snap out of it when he feels like he wants to go after the chickens, because he just wants to play, but he's like going after them. And we just need to make sure when his mind is in, oh my God, I want to play mode, we can get him to snap out of that. And it takes a lot of repetition and practice. So we're getting a harness on him right now. So I definitely would recommend doing this with a harness, because we're going to do leash training. It's going to be on the leash, showing him that he has the self-control to snap out of it. So there is going to be a little bit of pulling him on the leash. So we want to make sure we're not pulling him on the neck. The other thing that we're going to start off doing, we're just going to use a short leash. We're not going to start with a recall leash, because first we want to make sure that we can snap him out of every different level with this distance. So it's really important when you're doing this, you're only increasing one variable at a time. So if you were wanting to work on distance, what I would do is keep the environment the same and keep extending out the distance of the leash. But since we're going to be changing environment in a sense, we're going to let his mind go deeper, deeper, deeper into play and away from us. We're going to keep this distance the same and this variable controlled until he masters this. Then we can add on that other variable of distance. You ready, Klaus? With recall, as always, it's really important that you use a firm Klaus come. One word, just the come, not come on, not come here. It's Klaus come, and we're not going to repeat it. So first I want to get him not looking at me. So when I'm trying to let a dog's mind go, I'll still praise them when they're doing the right thing, like focused on me, but no treats. I'm going to start here because he's looking at somebody else, wanting to get to the cameraman. Klaus, come. He sat. So if he doesn't come right away, I'm going to give him a little tug, just a little direction. Yes, Klaus. And a treat when he comes. So when I do this on the leash, it's just Klaus, come. I'm not going to say his name again, and I'm not going to use like the kissy sound like I usually say to do. When you're doing the on-leash recall, the point of this is to speed it up and make sure the dog knows it's not an option and they have to come instantly. That wasn't great, Klaus. That took 2 little tugs, but that's okay. So I know then we're gonna stay at that level the whole time. Klaus, come. So never go to him. Make him follow through with exactly what you want him to do. When I say Klaus, come, I have the vision of him coming right up to me at my feet. Yes, good boy. Good, Klaus. And not stopping there or halfway there. So I think so many people like then go to the dog, and then the dog is always gonna push it and test you. So never go to him, make him come to you. If he's sitting now, when he's off leash, he's gonna be in his own world completely, because he's sitting just being like, okay, I hear you, but I'm gonna decide what command I wanna do. Klaus, come. All the way. Yes. So I need to make sure that I'm strict so it doesn't turn into just a non-existent recall, not even looking at me at all. But in the beginning, we're always gonna give him a treat, no matter how many pulls it takes him. And don't feel discouraged if you do this for an hour and you literally are pulling him the whole way. It's pretty typical, especially in an environment this distracting. Klaus, come. Oh, he's so close. Yes, Klaus, gentle. Klaus, come. Yes, Hulk. This is actually a really good distraction. Yes, Klaus. Klaus, come. Yes, Klaus. Yes, gentle. Good boy. Klaus, come. Yes, Klaus. Yes, that one was all on his own. Good boy. Yes. Very good. And for anybody who tells me that they don't want to work on recall on the leash because they want their dog to be able to come off the leash, I never understand, because if your dog isn't even coming on the leash on their own and I have to guide the dog a little bit, that's a time when they're running the opposite way. So you can't really get anywhere if you don't use the leash in addition to the back and forth recall that I have a video on. All right, now we're gonna try to go back to what was too hard for him, have the dogs be all around him. Klaus, come. Yes, Klaus, good one. Good boy. Klaus, come. Yes, Klaus. Klaus, come. Yes, Klaus. Yes. Oh, that wasn't gentle, but that was a really good recall. Yes, good. Klaus, come. Yes, Klaus. So as you can see, Klaus did so great. He earned the privilege off leash. We actually kept it today just with dogs present, but not interacting. So Julia kept the dogs entertained over there, which is honestly maybe even more of a distraction because there's treats over there and all the dogs are getting it. And he had to snap out of that and come to me. Klaus, come. Yes, just like that. What a good boy. So he earned being off the leash because he got about 10 repetitions of him coming on his own on the leash at this distance. So of course there's lots of ways next time that we will be able to increase the difficulty levels. So we'll have all the dogs playing and engaging more and get him to snap out of that. And then we'll have the distance be further away. So if Julia was standing over at the other end of the yard with the treats, I would call Klaus out of that. He would have to come all the way to me. But he did so great today, especially for the fact that we were able to take the leash off and he was coming pretty instantly. It was amazing. Good boy, Klaus. Such a good boy. Yes. Good boy. Yes.